Hi, everybody. It's me, Karen Holton, with another installment of Zendome's Organite and how you can use them to improve your life. So, as some of you may know, I published 4 videos on the therapeutic bath, and you might be wondering whether you've seen them or not. You might be wondering, why on earth would you need a therapeutic bath? That sounds like something that, old people do. And you would be right about that too. But this is a different kind of therapeutic bath. So what we're looking for is something that's simple to do in the privacy of your own home. And it involves setting up your bathroom to be like a home spa. Now, you won't have the fancy equipment, but that doesn't matter. The elements that you need to have your own health spa at home in the privacy of your own home is pretty easy to set up. And I'm going to tell you how to do that today. So the other thing is, why do I call it a therapeutic bath? Why not just call it a spa bath or something like that? And the reason is because it's very, very good for your health. It's very good for your mental health. They're very good for your physical health, and they're very, very good for your spiritual health. So when you pay attention to and take care of your body and your mind and your soul, you're going to have some amazing results. So the first thing I want to say about the therapeutic bath is that it's very deeply, deeply relaxing. And it's very important to bring the body and the mind and the soul into a deep state of relaxation every day if you can do it. Now, I know a lot of you out there are meditating, and that sure helps a lot. And this is just another approach to the same thing. The reason you want to do this is because our bodies are pleasure driven, our minds are pleasure driven, and our souls are pleasure driven. And so what happens is, when we want to produce those kind of feel good hormones and chemicals within the body, it's actually not that hard to achieve. So you want, dopamine and serotonin, and there's other chemicals as well that help you to feel better. And your body will choose pleasure over pain every single time. And this is a way that we can reintroduce a very deeply relaxing and pleasurable feeling to the body that helps to relax the mind, and of course is certainly good for the soul. And so I really encourage you to just try it and see what it might be able to do for you. And I swear by them, especially in the wintertime. I live in Alberta, Canada. It's very, very cold here for at least 4 months out of the year, but it's still pretty cold out even 6 months out of the year. And what overlaps with this is the whole process of earthing or grounding, and they're not really the same thing. So I'll just tell you, I've got some sunshine on me here. Let's see. Okay, that's better. Oh, making these home videos is a real trip, I'll tell you. If anything can go wrong, something goes wrong. And there's a limit to how many times you want to redo them. So I'm just going to carry on. The difference between earthing and grounding is this. Earthing is where you are able to put your feet or some part of your body directly on the earth, on the ground. Could be grass, could be dirt. Could be in your flower bed, it doesn't matter. It could be a walk along a trail someplace. But what happens is there's an energy exchange between the earth and our bodies, and it really helps us to relax and to feel so much better. Now, grounding is a little different. Earthing could be considered grounding, but grounding also involves us making contact with the spirit of the earth, which would be the center of our earth. Some call it Gaia. Some people imagine it as being like a tree. And we're capable of sending our etheric roots deep down into the earth. It can happen very, very quickly, and make contact with the spirit at the center of the earth. And this is called grounding. And so when we ground either physically or spiritually or etherically to the ground, what happens is we have amazing, amazing results because we are part of a very complex system, being humans on the earth. So, and that's why I call it the therapeutic bath, because it's actually a therapy. So if you're having problems with mental illness, often a therapeutic bath can really help improve your mood. But if you're having physical aches and pains and the body's not in a state of comfort, then it also is very good for that. And the therapeutic bath is also very, very good for helping you to make contact with your spirit guides, your angelic guides, your higher self, however you want to slice it and dice it. So it's a pretty important practice. I believe it's as important as meditating. Some people go, I don't want to have a bath. I don't like baths. I just like a quick shower in the morning. Well, I'm going to tell you, if you take a chance and you try this technique, you're going to be amazed at how good you feel. And if you're the kind of person that doesn't like taking baths or showers and you prefer not to get wet at all, and there's quite a few people like that, and no disrespect, those particular people are going to find this one of the most pleasurable experiences in their reality. And but you just got to take the first step and try it for the very first time. So I'll put in the link below this video, or links, I should say, below this video for the other 4 podcasts that I've made. 2 of them are talking in great detail about how the therapeutic bath works. And 2 of them are guided meditations, so that once you're in the tub, these kind of guided meditations can help you either to very much detoxify your body, which is super important, especially nowadays. And the next one is also very good for connecting with your spirit guides. If you're having a bit of trouble making contact, they're just great for that. Or if you're already making contact, it will just help that contact to actually be even better. I'm just going to adjust my screen a little bit here. Okay, so some of this information was covered in my other podcasts, but I recommend that you go back and listen to them anyway, because it will give you kind of different aspects of the information. So the reason you want to do this again is because it's going to make you feel fantastic. And it's going to remind your body what a deep state of relaxation really feels like, and what it's like to be in a bit of an altered state as you're connected to the earth and also to the heavens above. It's an amazing, amazing tool and so easy to do. So besides that, let's get on with the technique. I'm going to talk about some of the basic elements first, and then I'll talk a little bit about the more advanced options. So the first thing you need is you need a bathtub with hot water, clean hot water. Now, I live in a municipality where the water is actually tainted with fluoride and chlorine and crap like that, and I don't drink it. But I do use it for the bath because economically it would be very difficult to provide enough hot water for myself to have a bath if I'm taking it out of one of those big bottles and not out of the tap. But I've also found that what we're going to add to the bath actually counteracts some of that toxicity that might be in your water. So although I would not recommend you use very toxic water, which might be from industrial runoff or something like that, this works just as good with the municipal or regional water or well water or whatever you're using. And when I say you want to take a hot bath, what I mean is I want you to make it hot enough that you got to kind of slowly get yourself adapted, very similar to if you were going to the public pool and maybe you're using the hot tub, or a hot tub there, or jacuzzi, very similar to that. You do not want it to be so hot that it's scalding. That you don't want. And so, you know what? I'm just going to shut my curtain. I'll be right back. So, yeah, sorry for the interruptions, but sometimes this is what life is like when you're a podcaster. So you want the water to be hot, and you want to basically ease yourself into it. And I find that it turns me quite pink, quite dark pink. So regardless of your skin tone, you should see a little bit of a difference in your skin tone, and it should take on more of a darker pink tone to it, so that you know you've got it hot enough. Once you're in it and you adapt to it, it's just beautiful. And what this does is it sends all these messages to the body to relax. The mind will automatically surrender, and your soul will be tickled pink that you're doing this for yourself. So you want to start off with clean, hot water. Then what I do is I add Epsom salts, and quite a bit, like probably 4, 6, even 8 cups of it into my bath water, depending on what I personally am feeling like I need. So for instance, if I've got some muscle soreness or some uncomfortableness in my body, or if I'm really having a hard time slowing down my thought processes, I'll use more, and I may use a bit less if I'm feeling pretty good and I'm just going to do it for the relaxation. And Epsom salts is a really great way to replenish your biological stock of magnesium, which is also very important for being able to relax and heal. I also add sea salt. I usually use the pink Himalayan sea salt, and I don't know how much I dump in there, a couple cups. Whatever floats your boat, just dump it in there. It's not going to hurt you. And then you put your hand in and you swish it around so that it dissolves as much as possible. And then you can also monitor how hot your water is. And it should, as you're stirring up that water, it should be not so hot that you just got to pull your hand out and can't handle it. That's too hot. But you want to be able to stir up your salts in your water, and you'll notice that your hand and your arm will start turning quite pink. Then you know you've got the sweet spot for the temperature. Now, besides that, I add other things depending on what I feel like I need. And you can do some research to come up with your own kind of recipes, bath recipes on what kind of soup you want to be today. That's just my affectionate name for it, soup, and you'll see why when you see some of the things I put in my bath. So first of all, essential oils. Essential oils are fantastic, but you need to use high-grade organic essential oils. Yes, I know they cost more, a lot more, but you use so much less that it ends up not costing you more after all. And these essential oils need to be organic and chemical free, and they can't have, toxins from the manufacturing or anything in it. You need really clean essential oils. And the other thing is, if you have pets, you want to be careful which essential oils you're using, because some of them are absolutely toxic, especially to cats. And because dogs and cats have such sensitive smell, it can be very unpleasant for them. And please don't let them drink the water. That's really important. Sometimes my cat will come in and jump on the tub and want to drink the water, and I won't let her because it's not good for her. The salt content is way too high. So just some things to be careful of. So you can use any kind of essential oils. I'm going to tell you one of my personal favorites is frankincense, but you experiment a little bit and just go with what your intuition tells you that you need. You can also add some herbs and spices, but be careful. You don't want to use anything that's too warming or too spicy. You never want to add cayenne pepper to a hot bath, because first of all, your delicate bits are going to go, woo, that's too much for me. And the other reason is because it's not necessarily going to relax you if you use anything too spicy. So for instance, I would use as an example of a spice, I would use sandalwood, but I use food grade sandalwood, and I buy it in a powder from an ethnic market, and you just sprinkle some of that in. It is warming, but it's a completely different experience than cayenne pepper. And although it's warming, you may choose instead to use something like peppermint, which is more cooling to your system. So if you're familiar with Ayurvedic healing techniques, or even just go with your own gut or your intuition on what essential oils or what spices or what herbs you want to use. One of my favorite herbs is rosemary. Yeah, kitchen spices, whatever really appeals to you, that you love the smell of or you're just attracted to. I often will dump in some rosemary into my bath. Now, I would not combine rosemary or any other herb with essential oils because it's a bit much. You don't want to get overwhelmed. This is supposed to be fairly subtle. And you also wouldn't want to use spices with herbs and with essential oils. It's too much. You want to keep it really, really, really simple. And remember, I think it's cats that's not good to use peppermint around them. So if you do have pets, you want to close the door and keep them out. And you want to put the fan on when you're done to clear the air out of the room a bit before, you let your pets back in. So I just wanted to say that again. The other thing you can do is, oh, and by the way, I want to tell you, like, for instance, the reason I like rosemary so much is it's so good for strengthening your memory. So do some research on what kind of spices have medicinal effects, because there was a time where we used herbs and spices as medicine, and they can still be used as medicine today. And so you just want them on your skin. You don't need to take them in, just by smelling them and having them affect the water. And that's why I say I make it's sort of a bit of a soup, because you are actually, some of the elements that are in the rosemary or other herbs will come out into the water, and you want that to happen. Okay, so the next thing is crystals and orgone generators. And what they do is they restructure the water. So if you haven't done so already, I would go and see Dr. Emoto's website. And he did all kinds of experiments on how music and words and even intentions affected the structure of water. And when he took the microscope, he looked at crystals under the microscope after they were exposed to different words or different kinds of music or even intention. He noticed the structure of the water changed. So your body is about 90% water. When you want to influence the water in the tub, you're also influencing the water within the body. And another person I'd like you to do some research on is Veda Austin. She's fantastic. She has found out that there's an intelligence in water and that it understands what we need. And so when we program our water, we're actually, the water in our bath, well, you can do it with your drinking water too, actually, I recommend both, but you're actually restructuring the water, making it extremely raising the healing capacity of that water and the intention that you want to put into it, which is like being more peaceful, having better health, being able to connect with your spiritual guides, anything like that. And I'm going to show you a little bit more some of my orgone generators that I recommend. I do sell them on my website, but you can get orgone generators in many different places. You can even make them yourself. The only thing is you want to make sure that the resin is organic and that it's not plastic. So it should be, it's light. Resin in orgone generators is light the way plastic is light, but it's more like properties of glass. It's inert. It's not going to outgas into your environment. And so that's a really important thing. Or you can take a look at my website, www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com. That's KarenHolton healthcoach.com. And I've still got quite a few. I'm actually not making them anymore. And my friend who was making them for me is not making them for me anymore. So what I have is essentially what I have, at least at this point, until things change. So before I show you some of the orgone generators, oh yeah, the other thing I want to just mention is crystals. Be careful what crystals you use in the tub, because some of them, like malachite, have a very high copper content. You don't want that going into your water. So you would want to use crystals that are potentially harmful. You want them, or could be toxic to the body. You want to make sure they're in this clear resin, which turns them into orgone generators. And I'm going to make a whole new video all about that after I make this one, hopefully today. But some of the crystals that they call druzy, which are very rough and raw, the way they come out of the earth, or if they were inside geodes, be careful which ones. Make sure there's no impurities or metals that are not good for you. So the kind of crystals that you do want to use in the bath would be in the quartz family. And that would be things like rose quartz, smoky quartz, clear quartz, snow quartz, all kinds. There's citrine is also a quartz. Those are better for putting in the tub. Also lapis lazuli, I've used that, and sodalite, and of course amethyst, which is in the quartz family. They all just do a great job. So you want to start thinking about what you want, what you intuitively desire, and the qualities of the crystals. Do some research before you do your therapeutic bath. So the other thing you want to do when you're having a therapeutic bath is you want to remove technology from the room as much as possible, okay? Because our cell phones and our Wi-Fis and all of our technology emit a very harmful frequency. Now, we can handle some of it in small doses, but we sure don't want to have a whole lot, especially not in our spa, retreat, healing, therapeutic bath sessions. So I really recommend that you remove as much of your technology as possible. I also recommend that you dim the lights. So you might want to use a night light, or you might want to use some, I don't know. I have a light that I can recharge. I know it's got a little bit of tech, but it's a sphere and it looks like the moon, and I can program it to be all different colors depending on my mood, which is color therapy, which is another whole part of this. If you want to know more about color therapy, come back and I'll be making videos about that soon. But you can also find out quite a bit on YouTube or just doing research on the internet. Yeah, I've got some notes here because otherwise I forget where I'm at. A word about candles. Be very, very discerning when it comes to candles. So as far as I know, soy candles are okay. And of course, beeswax candles are wonderful, but you never want to use paraffin candles. You definitely don't want to use those paraffin tea lights that you get a big package of it at the dollar store or at Walmart. You don't want to use those because they give off a toxic gas. And in a small enclosed room, you sure don't want to be breathing that in. It's very counterproductive. The other thing is, if you do have pets and if they are able to come into the room, you don't want them playing at the flame while you're over in the bathtub and can't get to them in case they knock the candle over. You don't want any fires, and you don't want any little pussy toes getting burnt either. So that's why I personally don't use candles when I'm in the therapeutic bath. But of course, you could if you wanted to. Now, I'm going to give you some examples of some of the things that I have on my website that are very beneficial. I'm going to start by showing you this. This is just a little disc. It's flat on both sides, but has a little bit rounded edges, and it's filed off very, very clean. So there's no rough edges whatsoever. This particular one has pyrite, it has red jasper, and it has garnet, a garnet in the center, and it's got lots of metal shavings in there. And this is just a little powerhouse. And this one is specifically designed to help boost your vitality. That would be fantastic for taking in the tub with you. Another one I have is very similar. And this one here has green and blue aventurine, and it has some amber in the center, and then all kinds of metal bits. And it's really quite pretty, but it's soft, it's smooth, there's no way you're going to hurt yourself, and it's unlikely that it's going to crack in the tub. I mean, the reason why you don't want to use pyramids in the tub is because you could easily crack them against the tub or bang them with your foot and chip edges off of them. And there's when you shatter them, they will shatter if you give them enough force, or if you freeze them, which I don't recommend. You don't want those shards in your bath, and it would ruin your orgone generators. So I would not use these in the bath, but I would definitely use these in the bath. So this one here is to bring you prosperity. Yes, I'm using a green screen, but you already know that. Okay. Amber is another one of those crystals that you don't want to put directly in the bath, but this is encased in organic resin casing, and so it's not going to be toxic in any way. So this is the one, if you want more abundance in your life, you would want to use that. I'm not kidding. Crystals have properties. They have specific wavelengths that actually do affect your reality, your biology, as well as your social reality. And I swear by them. I only have, I think, a few of these left. They have a big garnet in the center, and then they have the shiny hematite around the edges, and then it's full of, metal shavings. So this one here is very good for grounding and protection. In fact, you can just keep it in your pocket or your backpack, or keep it under your pillow for protection. It's fantastic for taking into the bath. Some people, especially if they're not used to taking a bath, they feel a little bit vulnerable. A little bit vulnerable being in the tub. I know that sounds strange, but it's not really that strange. We have had all kinds of experiences in our life that set us up for, not being able to participate and do things that maybe other people can do. And fair enough, right? The other thing I want to show you is the wands. I have 2 wands on my website. This one has an amplifying, well, they both have an amplifying spiral on one end. This particular one has black tourmaline and selenite in it. So it's deeply grounding and cleansing energetically, but it also helps you to connect with your spirit guide. So I call this the balancing wand. And the tip has metal. So what happens is the energy is drawn in the broader end and comes out the metallic end. And so while you're in the tub, this is fantastic for doing some reflexology on your feet, just massaging sore muscles. You don't even have to touch it to your body. You can just do circles within your etheric field, and it will actually help improve. The other one I have a few left has clear quartz, rose quartz, and amethyst. And it just gives you such a beautiful feeling. So I use this one first for balancing, and then I would use the other one, after that, for boosting up my spiritual potential, boosting my etheric self. But they just feel lovely to massage on the body. And why not do it while you're relaxing in the tub? I'm just going to check my notes here. So that's about it for the basic therapeutic bath, but I want to get a little bit more into taking a look at using it as more of an advanced form of healing. Okay. So you would follow the same instructions that I gave you for the basic therapeutic bath, but you might want to use another kind of disc in the tub. And I just love these. I have, as you will see from my other videos, I have some shaped like butterflies that are flat, that are very good for going in the tub. And I have quite a few other discs. But this particular one has an amplifying spiral on the bottom, and then it has citrine. And then it's got a thick layer of copper. I don't know if you can see that. And then it has shungite. And then it has also the double Merkaba symbol on the front. So I have 4 of these. No, I actually have 5 of these. I have some of these that are just plain shungite with copper for detoxifying. This particular one has the shungite, which is fantastic for detoxifying, but it has the citrine. So it's a mood elevator. It also brings prosperity into your life. Now I have I have other ones that are the same as this, but they have rose quartz inside, which is the love harmonic. And that one I always use in the tub every single time. It's just so lovely. So the shungite's deeply, deeply detoxifying and cleansing. And the amethyst or the rose quartz or the citrine all have their own properties. So the rose quartz is soothing, but also serves your higher heart chakra, very good for healing. Your amethyst one is extremely good for making contact with your higher self or your higher guides. And I'll just show you the clear quartz one. It's beautiful. I don't know if you can see all the sparkles in there. So this here has the amplifying symbol, the clear quartz, and then it's got a nice thick layer of copper in there. And then it's got the beautiful shungite on the outside. I actually have a collection of pyramids and discs that are made from shungite. And it's just very, very wonderful for cleansing your environment from the electromagnetic smog that's affecting all of us. So in the advanced bath, you can take advantage of either having an alkaline bath or an acidic bath. So an alkaline bath, you would put something like baking soda in there, along with your salts and your Epsom salts. And you may want to use it with essential oils or herbs. That would be up to you. But that gives an alkaline environment that is going to pull acidic properties from your biology, from your body. Or some people actually need a bit of an acidic bath. And so for an acidic bath, what I recommend is a cup or 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. And that does something different again. What it does is it draws out other kinds of elements that you want to detoxify into the tub. And so it depends. Your intuition will tell you whether you need an acidic bath or whether you need an alkaline bath. And they're both fantastic for detoxifying your skin and drawing out, because when you're in a therapeutic bath, because it's quite warm, actually almost hot, but not quite, you're going to be sweating when you're in there, and you're going to be detoxifying and detoxifying. And so you could have either an acid or an alkaline component to your tub. Also, music. What I recommend you do is make yourself a playlist of either very soothing music like the Solfeggio scale or binaural beats. I mean, you can find all of this wonderful stuff on YouTube, and you can buy, a CD or whatever from the record store, or you can just find them online. And what they do is they really, really affect not just the structure of the water that you're immersed in, but actually all the water that's within your body. Very, very healing and cleansing. And for times when you are feeling anxious or depressed, which nowadays everybody has some issues with that, I recommend you make a playlist of love songs, any kind of love songs, all kinds of love songs, all kinds of artists, whatever you want, mix it up and play that. It is so soothing and so good for your mind and your body and your soul. So I do recommend music, and it will help to restructure the water. Let's see if I missed anything. Love songs. Oh yeah, so the next thing that will is more of an advanced thing, but it really helps, is if you get yourself a bath pillow. And what I mean by a bath pillow is something that's non-toxic. Your nose is so sensitive to toxins, especially when you are a detoxified person or if you're a sensitive person. So open the package and have a good sniff before you buy it. And if you get any of that stinky shower curtain, brand new shower curtain smell, or anything that puts you off, do not buy it. I found they had a few really good ones at Bed Bath & Beyond. It cost me $40, but it's so worth it. It can go in the washer and dryer, actually washer, and then I hang it up to dry. But you want a good bath pillow. So you want to give it a good sniff to see if it's toxic. And if you're not getting anything, it's probably going to be okay. And it's worth it again to spend a few extra dollars and get yourself a really nice bath pillow. And what that does is it makes even the most uncomfortable tub suddenly become very comfortable. Because of all the salt and stuff in the water, you're a little bit more buoyant. But also when you can rest your head back and relax your neck and your head, the whole body follows suit. So that's also really important. And of course, as I said before, I recommend doing guided meditations when you're in there. You might just want to veg out in there and not worry about anything because you've got the music and you've got the smells and you've got the heat, and it's just so lovely in there. You might not, need a guided meditation. But I have two, and you can also make your own. And you can make it up as you go, where you want to become very deeply, deeply relaxed. You want to be very focused on inside your skin. So instead of your mind going all over the place, you're just very focused. You're aware of all kinds of sensations going on in your body. You want that. And also I have the one that teaches you how to detoxify, how to recognize toxic areas within your body and how to just let that go. And then, of course, there's another one on how to make spiritual contact, where you will make contact with the soul of the earth, but you will also make contact with the heavens above, your higher self, the angelic realms. Very, very, very powerful. I'm telling you, you're going to come out of there and you're going to feel like $1 million. Another thing you can try is clay, but you want to make sure it's the kind of clay that's either non-toxic that you could actually eat. Some people eat clays to detoxify their digestive system, or you want to use something that doesn't have fragrance or chemicals in it that's meant for doing facials or for putting on your body. You can actually put that right in your bath too, and it'll help draw out toxins through the skin. And so basically, I just really recommend that you experiment. Make this your special thing to do. If you don't have time to do it every day, or you don't want to do it every day, fine, but do it as often as you can. Take your calendar, mark out when is your spa time, and spend time doing your spa time every day. And sorry, if you can't do it every day, like I said, that's okay, but mark it on a calendar and actually book the time to have with yourself and try this. You're going to love it. You're just going to love it. Now, I've had some people say, oh, I have urinary infections. Doctor told me never to take a bath. Well, that might be true, but I'm going to say this. I'm not a doctor. Don't take this as medical advice, but I do know that there's enough salt in there, and salt is the great purifier. There's nothing that can live in your water that's bacterial or virus or anything like that. And so I don't think, I think that by avoiding baths, what the doctor's often recommending is that you stay away from, these fizzy bath bombs that you can buy, and bubble baths, and all these sort of scented things that are chemical based and toxic. That's not going to help, especially in delicate areas. But when you have a salty bath, it's a completely different thing. And that's another thing. Do not combine your therapeutic bath with a beauty bath. In fact, I recommend you don't do a beauty bath at all. But if you have to, that's up to you. Make sure you're using things that are chemical free, and read the label. Don't believe the advertising. Don't believe what the salesperson is telling you. Don't believe any of that. Read the label. And if there's any chemicals in there, don't use it, because 20% of your blood flow is flowing through your skin all the time. And so, for instance, you know how you can get nicotine patches if you're trying to quit smoking. You can get different vitamins, or, maybe not vitamins, but different medications that are on a little patch that you put on your skin. Your skin will absorb it right through. The same thing goes with your therapeutic bath. So that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed my little talk. I did at length 2 other podcasts, one about the beginner therapeutic bath and one about the advanced, but I've sort of put it all in one video to make it easier for you this time. And as I mentioned, I'll have the links below. So I just want to also take a moment to thank all my subscribers. I really appreciate you very much. I wouldn't be doing this if you weren't out there, and it's just a wonderful exchange of information. And again, I want to recommend my website, KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com. And I don't just have orgone generators. I have a limited selection of crystals. I have some services, and I have also some PDF downloads that you can buy, and they can help you in your journey. And they also help to support the work so that I can keep doing what I'm doing and bring you more information. And for those of you who don't know, I'm a shamanic guide and I'm a spiritual coach. So what does that mean, a shamanic guide? It means that I have studied all kinds of things from nutraceuticals, which is healing yourself through plants, using food as medicine, color therapy, energy therapy, all kinds of modalities, all kinds. I've studied Chinese traditional medicine. I don't have a certificate in it, but I have studied that, and also Ayurvedic medicine and all kinds of healing modalities, not to mention that I come from a long line of freaky women who were the healers in their communities and often even the midwives. And I guess I have some of that in me as well. A spiritual coach, I never tell you what to do. I never say, do this, do that, do this, do that. Never. What I do is I teach you how to look inside and find your own spiritual connections. I support you while you find what you need to help your mind, your body, and your soul to thrive in this world, and for you to get doing the things that you want to do, that maybe you agreed to do before you came here. And it doesn't matter what's going on outside the world. It doesn't matter. Politics, religion, social stuff doesn't matter. There will always be shit to get you all riled up on the news and on even alternative media. But you can take a stand and you can carve out a little space in this reality for you, where you can have your spirituality, you can have miracles happen in your own life, you can find your own ways to heal. It's all there, and all you have to do is just make yourself available. So again, my name is Karen Holton, and I'm very glad you could join me today, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.